So here's the finished product of my Snow Performance Stage 2 install. I put the controller for the snow right there on the intake, and this is actually the vacuum line for the boost controller inside of the Snow Performance box. My nozzle is actually underneath the intake. You can't even see it. It's kind of stealthy. I did the tank tap, the Devil's Own tank tap. Basically, I fill my methanol and water mix right here. Let's bring this around. I have a little switch right here. You can't really see it, but this is a switch that turns the methanol injection on and off. The reason why I put that in there is I have a very short drive to work in the mornings, and I didn't want the methanol to inject when the engine's cool, so you'll get a lot of moisture in the intake pipe, and that's my feeling, is you're going to end up with a lot of moisture in the intake pipe and cause your throttle body to get soaked with water. Here's my little on when the pump is on, the Snow Performance LED. So it's right on my boost gauge, and up here when the my fluid is low, my windshield washer light turns on. I do want to point out, when I was finished with the install, I had a lot of just regular distilled water in the tank because I was testing for leaks and everything. And well, anyway, I still had quite a bit of distilled water in there, and my windshield washer light wouldn't turn off. Well, anyway, it's due to this little piece. Okay, so what happens is these are there's an electric current that goes between the two, and the windshield washing fluid or methanol mix is supposed to carry that current. What I later found out is that distilled water itself is non-conductive. So, meaning that if you just had distilled water in there, your windshield washer fluid would be on constantly because it can't carry the current between the two prongs on the sensor. So after I ran that tank down a little bit, added some more methanol fix because I was going to plan on putting this in maybe next week, my light's gone. So methanol is enough to carry the current, the 50-50 mix. So for those of you that uses the windshield washer fluid, just make sure you get all that distilled water out, or else you're going to have a washer on light constantly. And now I'm going to go through basically some of the steps I took to install this Snow Performance Stage 2. Also, these are a must-have for the Snow Performance meth kit on a Volkswagen GLI. There's simply just no room, and you can use these all you want on the low side, meaning that it's not the pressurized side. That way there's no high pressure really going through these, so you don't have to worry about leaks. The side that I would worry about using these would be on the pressurized side, meaning that coming out of the pump, the pressurized side is up to 150 psi's. But all these are called 90-degree union pneumatic. Get the quarter-inch hose. I got these on eBay, made by Parker, really good company. This is all brass. Basically inert to methanol. So all this is used in the pneumatic industry for like air, pneumatic air for like robotics and stuff. So that's what these are used for, but they can be used for methanol, oil, and air. Very good connection, very tight fit on the Snow Performance 1/4 inch pneumatic hose. Okay, this is my install of my Snow Performance Stage 2 methanol and progressive methanol injection kit. I wanted to put a on-off switch. Yeah, I could do a relay system where you'd have a nice switch and everything, but that just causes more problems. So I'm just doing a simple switch. This is where the accessory on, when you start your car, on the GLIs, there's a spot right here in the fuse box in the engine bay. And basically all I did was putting like a connector on and just attaching it. Very simple and straightforward. This wire leads into the cab. Okay, how did I run the wires through the firewall? Because right here you have a plastic panel. There's the brake pedal, and behind this little latch, or the little insulation, you have this plastic or rubber piece. And this rubber piece pulls right out. There you go. Also, this is where I installed the pump on LED for the meth kit. It's just right on the my boost gauge. Okay, this is how I mounted my the meth pump. Okay, if you take a look, this is the front of the car. I didn't take my bumper cover completely off because all these little damn sensors, you have to disconnect each one of them. I didn't feel like going and doing that. You got one sensor here, then you got the wiring harness, then you have the air temperature sensor there you have to disconnect. What a pain in the ass. So I decided to just work around that. It gave me more than enough room to work on my meth pump. And I'm just using a little bench to hold up the bumper cover. Okay, I decided to mount my pump for the methanol in the, or by the windshield washer fluid tank, as you can see. I decided this for the reason that I wanted to use the low level right here, this sensor, the low level windshield washer sensor, as to notify me when my methanol is low. I used a Devil's Own tank tap. This is a pretty neat product. And I mounted the pump right here where the horn used to be. I moved the horn up here. I drilled a little hole and mounted the horn right up there. So far, the wiring is through the loom right there. I drilled a little plastic piece on the car to fit the loom through, and it extends all the way to the other side. Do you see that? Let me see if I can get a better picture. There, it's through the little plastic piece. So, and it's going to be fed through here and into the intake pipe. And this is where my connector for my controller is going to be. the snow performance stage 2 meth kit. So the controller is going to be sitting right here. So the placement of the nozzle I put right here in the intake pipe that goes into the throttle body. The plastic is pretty thick right here. So I drilled and tapped 11/32 with a 1/8-27 NPT thread, or tap, I should say. And as you can see, it goes along the underside of the intake track. There's my check valve, and it goes back into the fender. Another reason why I placed it here is for ease of maintenance. If I ever need to clean the nozzle, I can just unscrew it right there. Real simple, easy access. Take the panel off the bottom of the car, and you have direct access. There's just no spot on top to put the damn nozzle.